All right, we're recording now. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to start and juice it out. All right, I'm with Wesley tonight. Wesley, what's up? You joined.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. Good to see you. You joined us in 2023 after we finally got the place open, and you immediately fell in love with it, like so many do, automatically wanting to join up, and you became an integral part of our operations there, and did a real good job always looking for more revenue streams, how to maximize the customer's dollar when they came in. I mean, you really put your heart into it like all of us do, and we're all hopeful for justice and a better future towards, you know, the next iteration of it. And like, I'm glad you're here to join us in the podcast like everybody else is, and some of the old team that you didn't get to meet that we weren't able to rehire when we opened that store because our budget was just completely smashed. But yeah, go ahead and say in your own words like how awesome it was for you.
Well, like you said, I'm Wesley from Florida. I joined in 23. I was immediately shocked when I walked in the front door. When I met Joe, it was in my own business. Joe had come to shop at my business that I owned, a little retail vape shop. And he just invited me to come by. And I knew the building because I'd been watching it go up for at least a year. I mean, how long was it under construction? 14 months?
14 months or so, yeah, we were stuck.
Every day I drove by OptiView to get to my own business that I owned, and I'd see little things every day, new lights, new this, new that. And it seemed so bizarre that it was taking so long to get open. So when you finally came to my shop, I was like, it's about time. I get to see what's inside this place. And I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, it's an attraction. Like, I tried to get it on iDrive, but that was really impossible. Very expensive over there. So
well, the rent doesn't make sense on iDrive.
Which one? Yeah. It's a great project. So this is something I want to show you. This is the old store. You never got a chance to see this. This predates the Longwood store, and our team, we put a lot of passion behind this entire setup and the stage. I'm gonna let you look at the stage.
It blows my mind that I must have driven by the original location. I'm not exaggerating, probably 1,000 times while it was there, because that spot on Colonial, I've driven that road thousands and thousands of times being from East Orlando.
Yeah. This was a really tough.
I had no idea the entire time.
Yeah. This was a really tough build out. Me and Josh and everybody worked on this for like a year. Jaya, David, we did this whole build out during the pandemic, and this was a real toxic landlord here too. We didn't have a contract. It was more like a trade. Hey, you help me, I help you. But it ended up being a guy that was just totally two-faced and a liar and a cheat and working with the competition, real nasty. But yeah, this was the stage that we were going to rebuild in the back of the store in Longwood. As you can see, it was going to be bigger and more grand, obviously, in Longwood too. So we're doing a lot of 3D live streams that I'll be putting out there. Got part 1 and part 2 out right now, but we'll be publishing more of them so that people can really see kind of what was going to happen in the back room that they didn't get to see, and enjoy what OptiView was about, since many people didn't get to visit. So this is a slideshow of some really interesting people having fun time. This was when you remember helping us out with that second store. Like, we had to get everything out of here. This was the store that we just showed you. So this was the room that we went through that had the original museum, and then we rebuilt it in Longwood. This was a mess. There was a rat infestation here. The guy didn't want to acknowledge. That guy Gilbert was feeding them. It was nuts. It's a picture you sent me, and I remember taking this to all of us. This is the gaming thrones, and then the big screen. This was like at the pinnacle of completion. So are you hopeful for the future of the project? I mean, I know that we're both trying our best to keep a positive spirit about it.
Well, it's been a little depressing during this restructuring period. Of course, that wouldn't have happened if other things hadn't happened, but I'm really hopeful to get back into sales. I want to get our e-commerce going. I think that's, one of our, we have multiple strong points, but I think e-commerce and just getting the brand in other people's buildings is really important for us.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot that we could have done for a lot of businesses in that area, and a lot of them really Yeah, a lot of them, like when they seen us move in, we lit the building up and we did an amazing job. Like everybody started improving the signs around there. We're bringing pockets of wealth to the area. It was really going to help a lot of the businesses there grow, but it became more about like this false narratives about the company which aren't true. And so, but more so was more than that, just the landlord's tortious interference in the beginning that predate you, that really put us in a bottleneck where we were just so tight financially. It was tough to just rely on our own means to get people in, like advertising, social media, doing those kind of things, which are more progressive and a lot easier than dealing with certain promoters. And I feel like we should never be penalized for being strangled into dealing with those type people. But a lot of them were real good. We had some really good promoters help us out, but I think it was not good that they wanted to call us like a nightclub per se. You know what I mean? When we were really trying to be something different.
We were a multi-use venue. It was very simple. We could be anything you wanted us to be, but we were absolutely not a nightclub. If someone wanted to rent the building out and make it their nightclub for the night, their private nightclub for their friends, they could have done that. And we sort of, had some private events that were very nightclub-esque, but we were not a nightclub.
Yeah, so that was the reason why.
Nightclubs, by the way, are not open during the day. You can't go to a nightclub during the day and just hang out and walk around. That's not a thing.
Yeah. It unfortunately is a beautiful, very beautiful project. Obviously, as you experienced it and everything like that. A lot of people did. Just absolutely awesome. A lot of women would come there and take awesome pictures over the years. It was a really nice place. It was a safe place for me. It was a safe place, and it's sad that there was this false narrative that was being projected onto us that actually happened at another. Was happening at another typical particular nightclub that you know about. We won't have to mention names, but you know what I'm talking about, where you even know someone that got drugged there or whatever. It was a male.
I do know someone, a male, that got drugged at that nightclub, and he could have died. So
wow,
that was a scary thing.
Wow, that's awful. Yeah, and we heard. Well, I've heard over the years a lot of males and females and that were getting messed up there, and it's like. There's people like to project when they're in trouble for something. They're projecting, so they're projecting those issues that weren't ours, like onto us, and unfortunately, like the 7 years of established, audience that the guy had, it kind of people believed certain things like that. Now I'm going to show you something, and it's not to like show off or anything like that. I mean, but like women are, they find me interesting, men and women, but people, dudes like to use.
I will say I saw a few guys hit on Joe throughout my time with OptiView, so the guys are into you, Joe.
Well, I'm not into them like that, but I
know you're not.
Yeah, it's more like, okay, they want to get to know me as a friend, or they want to use the place for content creation. There's a lot that I offer. I offer a lot for anybody, male or female, and it's just normal that people. I look good. I'm decent looking. I'm not like the best looking guy in the world, but I look decent. I've done a lot to improve my hair, as you can tell. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. I've been doing a lot to improve the hair, to really grow it and fill it in, like this hair, like a micro needling, scalp massage. I've done so many things to improve my hair and my looks and my skin and take care of myself, even throughout the years. But since closing OptiView, and there's no stress, I have like zero stress now. The stress is a killer, and so I do a lot of things.
It's hard to have good hair when you are, in my opinion, being manipulated and exploited by your landlord and the local government, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it was. So Longwood government loved it. I never had any problem in Orange County. I've never had any problem with, this was only until I went.
Yeah, and by the way, I also owned a business. Sorry, Joe. I owned a business in Longwood. Yeah. The city of Longwood is amazing. I loved owning a business in Longwood. It's Seminole County that needs progress, if you will.
Yeah, they're very prejudiced towards. So me, my team, a lot of us have, cannabis cards. And so we're very cannabis friendly type of work environment. You know what I mean? So
I owned a business that legally sold THC in Longwood.
Gotcha. And Matt Morton came, and he loved the venue and the space. But throughout my career, even when I was really young, I've always gotten along really well with the opposite sex more so than anything. I always usually more preferred to get to know the opposite sex. Usually I'll get to know the opposite sex better than I do a male. You know what I mean? So that's what normally,
Right.
that's, because they're not jealous of me. They're not everybody is as good and as cool as you and Josh and David and some other people that like don't get jealous. But we've even had people part of the team before that, they get jealous later on. But a lot of people, when they see what I'm going through what I have to go through as the owner, you don't really want to be in my position. It's a really tough position. I'm fighting real hard for everybody here, and Eric's in this picture in the lower left corner. He's going to be coming on next. Eric helped me in the beginning stages of a lot of this particular programming that we were working on. He's going to be on Saturday. So there's a lot of people that you didn't get to meet because we couldn't afford to bring them back, things like that.
Right.
But they're going to be coming on the podcast to talk about their time and my leadership. My leadership is not traditional leadership. I'm very fun. I'm very out there. It's TV stuff, TV worthy
As
shit.
director of operations, sometimes it was my job to tell Joe what to do.
That's right.
Because he's such a different kind of leader.
But it's a fun kind. We're not here being so serious that we don't want that. Look at this dog. Look how happy that dog is. Look how cute. Yeah. See that? See the hat? See the rabbit ears on that? So you combine a fun personality with a really cool project and decent looks. I don't look my age. Other people tell me that. So that's just natural that people are gonna gravitate towards you, want to get to know you, and I think that's no one's business. No one should be weaponized that against me in any way, shape, or form like they tried to do, because like Scarface, first you get the money and the power, then you get the gorilla, whatever. But we're not motivated. I am not motivated in any way by on missions like that. All the people that I've met that are motivated by girl missions and everything like that, they never get anywhere. They spend all kinds of money buying drink, the nice car, everything else like that, and they never get anywhere, and they spend too much money on nonsense. But yeah, I think that the courts, the county, just because someone wants to spread false things, there's no merit to any of it. Even though, and we're gonna have Anne Marie on here soon. We're gonna talk about her son, how he, what happened with that guy, and we should not have any of that weaponized against us, don't you think? And they did. They did on our permit meeting. They weaponized it's not our fault that 1792 has a drug problem.
Yeah, there's it's not the best road. It's not the worst road, but there are some questionable people living on areas of 1792.
Well, you'd have to close every gas station if we're going to penalize when you gotta call for help for someone. This is, and I told this to the police down there. I said this is an open border problem that was going on. It's not my job to be a place that cleans up the whole entire area like that. I mean, I did my best. When we moved in there, a lot less homeless people hung around there. We did nights with free food and stuff, and just a lot of hippie stuff. And I think the hippie stuff that we were for was more of a Longwood thing, but it's not a Seminole thing. And so I wanted to annex the building out of Seminole to Longwood. I mean, I tried really hard. I kept arguing with the landlords, get this building out of Seminole and go to Longwood. Government, annex it out because we're on the unincorporated area. He just did everything he could not to support his tenant, and that's not right. That's tortious interference, and we deserve justice because, I told him, I'll pay the extra fees, whatever it costs, get us to Longwood. They support us. They have more dispensaries in that mile strip than most area in Central Florida. So and Matt Morgan was there. The whole local Longwood loved the project, want to do events there and everything, and it's just. It's not our fault, the pre-existing conditions that you drove by it for so long and didn't have it.
You mentioned the overdose. The individual that overdosed on our property had been previously banned multiple times and told, do not come to this establishment. We have it on camera that he walked up off the street and overdosed in front of our front door. So there is literally nothing we can do about that. We are not liable for that in any way. And to even accuse us of being liable for that is nonsense.
Yeah. There was a friend of mine, she got released from the ER too. You weren't here for this. It's another guy. I'm going to have him on board because he saw this one. And so she gets out of the ER I know her for like a year. We've been hanging hard for a long time, and then we weren't hanging out for like 4 months because she was hanging out with questionable people all the time. So I'm like, well, you just got to, we took a break for like 4 months, but then she needed a place to stay. She got out of the hospital, ER. I had to call the ER on her too, and it's just like sometimes when you own a business in a high traffic area with thousands of people, you've got somebody gets a drug issue or they get released out of the ER early, or and she had to go back or whatever. Been in and out. She had been in and out of the ER for a long time, and so we just saving these people's lives by calling the ambulance, not to use it against us. You know what I mean? That just happens when you have a place that is large, and this was in late 2023. So these things can come years after all the damages that the landlord did. They're absolutely irrelevant, and I think that these are things that they're using against us to not get justice, and it's not fair. It's not right. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened in 2021, because that's when I moved in there in December 2021. You may want to believe whatever you may think or think about me from an idiot that wants to say they served in the Air Force and hide behind that, or the fact that they have a daughter doesn't make them a creep or whatever. That's not all true. There's many people that can have kids and be bad, and do bad things. So it's like we're fighting. I think we won that battle. I think we had won the battle, but the nail in the coffin was just the permit and that being strangled and never getting that through, and we were never able to finish that. But we remained hopeful. So I want to get into with you like the earnings potentials that we were unable to really bring forth in this building, and so we did some research on like a low, medium to high, based on the typical type of business that I have and what I offer for the area. And so we should have been able to bring millions into there. Let me pull this up and get myself off the screen. But yeah, we weren't able to get anywhere we should have been doing at least $1 million a year.
Well, we were actually tracking, because I was kind of I wasn't the money guy, but I was in charge of all the pricing for the products and all the sales, everything besides tickets. We were tracking more than $1 million in revenue our last, several months.
Yeah.
So, $1 million was like really bad, because we were having to, give certain things away for free because we weren't able to get the right licensing, or, hire ghost kitchens to come in, which cost a lot of money, or hire people with licenses to sell certain products for certain events. We were not getting any of the profit we should have been, and we were losing out on a lot of sales just because of the way we were forced to do business. So we were already on track to do $1 million in a year. We should have been doing $3 million. And by the way, that was with us being open on the weekends. We were tracking to do $1 million, just being open on the weekends. We weren't making any money being open on the weeknights. We were open to the public so people could come check us out, but it didn't make us any money.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to be able to launch more of the museum side. So to launch the museum side of things, it takes a budget. You need a good budget for the marketing, for staff to help you with the film, and to execute all those different arms of the company to really get it out there, to do the help with the podcasting, the live streaming, all that, reels, shorts, and being around and taking random content and filming people. You need help with that. And I had to wear too many hats, and my bandwidth, it was at maximum bandwidth. There was no more bandwidth there, and that's like, again, putting people in a corner, strong-arming them. It should be illegal. It's not fair. And but yet have your hand out, pay me rent. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to pay you? That was what it came to, like, after 2.5 years. 2.5 years, how am I supposed to fit? I'm lucky I got open by the grace of God, to begin with.
Yeah.
Because we're losing $40,000 a month there. It's being closed because of tortious interference.
This was a very difficult time for anyone to open a business of any kind, just because of how the government was running and how slow everything was. Anyone opening a business during COVID knows that it took 4 times longer to get anything done than it should have. So all these extra problems that OptiView had to deal with were already on top of additional problems everyone everywhere was dealing with.
Thank God we got it open though, man. Whew. I'm just so amazed that we were able to actually still get it open. It was hard. It was like man, the toughest thing I've ever had to do was fight day and night to try to get this thing open. But we did, and it made its mark, and it shows that it has a viable plan. It's passion, it's heart. You know, like you and others, when they see it and they fall in love with it, they want to be a part of it just out of passion. It's not like, it's not work. It's not like, oh, you're not going to dread it. I don't think, did you ever dread coming? Be honest now, don't lie.
The only nights I dreaded coming in were the nights where I knew it was going to be harder than it should have been, due to us having to, you know, bring in extra services and not having the licensing we needed. But other than a couple of nights I can think of where it was just way too much work for what it was, and I don't really want to go into detail on that, but I loved coming into OptiView. I always looked forward to the events. I wish we could have had an event every night.
Yeah.
Because I would have been there.
It would have been awesome. Yeah, it took quite a bit of planning. Here's some memories to see, photography nights. I mean, the best place to take pictures. I mean, hands down.
Oh, this does not look good when it's sideways.
Well, I put them sideways because the vertical, it'll be too small. The reason why they're sideways too is because these were originally shorts and things, you know, filmed in vertical mode. But I put them sideways so it fills the screen. Otherwise, it's going to be small. But yeah, this was it was a good time, man. It was a great experience. Everybody enjoyed it. It was tremendous. We hope to bring it back. You know, I know you're ready to be dedicated and to help us with a lot of things that I, you know, did wrong too, which was like letting people have meetings with me without everybody around, and they took advantage a lot too. And that was just, again, the bandwidth was so maximized that there was literally no room. But we, you know, when we had a bigger event, we'd try to do, you know, security and things like that, but the budget wasn't always there. We didn't always have the budget for doing everything we needed to do in the building. Where you at, Wesley? There you go.
Right here.
So Jaya is going to be coming on board to talk about, you know, how painful it was for her too. She had a lot of, it was very painful for Jaya. It was not fun. And it's going to be an emotional one. I'm going to be doing Eric, the one that you didn't get. You might have met him later at the venue and stuff like that. So, yeah, anything else you want to say? I mean, I know that it's a huge loss to the area. Nothing will ever like that come back again.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun doing it. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing it. There was nearly unlimited potential with that project. I mean, the technology that OptiView offers, because that's something else that I don't think a lot of our customers really knew. The technology we have in-house is proprietary. The screens and the lights and the projectors that we can sell you right now to deck out your own business is our own design products. And they look really, really good. And so we could have been making a lot of sales to Orlando area businesses. I mean, Orlando might be the entertainment capital of the world. So just so much missed potential by what we could have done in that area. The partnerships we could have had with other businesses.
Yeah, this is the parking lot being slammed. No, I agree, man. That was it's a major blow to everybody and to landlord too. Because look, he's having to fight me. He hasn't still rented the place out.
Well, that building's empty. We've been out for what, almost 2 years, 20 months maybe?
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Yeah, and I was only improving it. I was only improving the place. Like, we had upgraded the power. If you look here, we upgraded the power to 1200 amp. We had the power company.
We had a lot of power.
Yeah,
that picture I sent you of the plugs in the ceiling, how neat it was, how well our cable management was. I mean, everything was top-notch quality.
Well, they treated us like we were just a bunch of kids working with non-commercial stuff, and I didn't like that. And I tried to reason with everybody, the fire department, permitting, electrical people. Like, look, these were forced connections that were done under duress after waiting 8 months. We got them fixed in 7 days. Again, the landlord did everything he could just to not let us have even a digital billboard. We had to have a regular static billboard. We should have had a digital billboard, which would have then, we'd still be there. Matter of fact, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, with the type of multimedia and film and photography work, look at all this photography work, with all of the ways that we can take pictures and present what we do on a digital billboard, the place, let me put myself on the screen, the place would have been packed. And we would have been doing all kinds of off-site business. We would have been able to put a sprinkler in that sun if we were later on needed to do so. The reason why we would have bought the building, and we would have developed the back. It would have been so many things. I had to put myself on it because I'm animated. The level of photography skill and multimedia that you guys are seeing that we do as a company and train others to know how to do is so next level that the only way to do it is to present it on a digital billboard, not a static.
Right.
Look at
that
the
was
static
a huge
billboard.
Loss.
We can't
the
do
billboard
that.
We were forced to use was so bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not fair that we had to use like a static. See the static? It's not the way
I don't know
it
if
goes.
I can tell. I don't know if I can tell this story, but the Seminole County government one time threatened to shut us down because of an extension cord being used. That was a $2,000 Broadway extension cable.
And it was on it was when we were closed and we were using
we weren't even open for business.
Yeah, we were doing a private podcast. A private podcast. Listen, they were doing anything to nitpick. It's not fair, and it shouldn't happen in America because you don't know what or who or what group of people are going to be the next big thing. You know what I mean? Imagine if this stuff happened to all the greats that are going on right now. Walt Disney, Tesla, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I mean, whether you agree with them or not, or don't like what they did, they provide a service that people benefit from and a lot of jobs and everything else. But the thing is, you don't know like the type of grind that people are willing to do out of their heart for the project, and how I can delegate and get everybody to do their thing and get stuff done and be passionate about it. That is priceless. You cannot put I'll make myself big here because I'm getting really amped up about it. You can't put a price on someone's heart in a project. You can't. And I know that every one of you that are coming on the record, you all put your heart. Let me put you in the screen because I love you. Look.
But real quick, the story of how I started working for OptiView was I was hanging out so much because I was running my business, maybe a mile away. And then I just come to OptiView after I'd close my own and just hang out. And so I was just, naturally helping Joe out with stuff. And so finally got at the point where Joe was like, well, I got to start paying you if you're going to do this. And I think secretly Joe wanted to be able to tell me what things he wanted me to go do. And I don't think you were paying me to help out for more than like a week before you pulled me aside and you're like, look, we really need you to tell people you're a manager if they ask so you can deal with those things.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, this just needs to be an official thing then, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. Like, I don't mind. Like, a lot of people start similar to you, too, like where they start out volunteer. They spend a lot of time there. They just want to live there. Like David said he wants to move in. I just
wanted to live there. I didn't want to go home.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's the same thing that David said in his podcast. Just you didn't get to meet David.
When my wife would go to bed early, I'd just come hang out, and then she'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and call me mad, like, where are you? Like, babe, I'm at OptiView, calm down.
Yeah, it's fun.
Why are you there? After a while, she learned, she understood OptiView, but in the beginning, she was very like questioning why I was at some club. Of course, again, we're not a nightclub, but
lounge, social. We wanted to be a private lounge. Yeah.
It was so fun to be there. It was such a good feeling. It was so electric. Even when the place was empty, it felt so electric to be in there.
Yeah. It's all the passion that went into, it's basically all the passion that went into building it out. Every inch of space was covered. I mean, we didn't even get to put everything up. Like, we didn't even get to launch the signature product. The signature product in the back room was the main stage and the theater shows and everything else, magic stuff. We didn't even get to do to the maximum level anything that we were going to do because it's just so many things being hindered. So just we're going to be dangerous when we get let loose again. I can say that. Listen, let me put myself on screen because I'm getting amped about it. We'll be dangerous when it comes to the level of progression and how we're going to level up other people's lives too. See, it's not just about us leveling up. When people come in and they can get a service at an affordable price, or they can show off their product, or they can come in there and film, make content, and level up their game. I mean, people do like private, like little airplane jets in California. They have like the people can go in there and make believe they're in an airplane and stuff. So content creation is really important. Like content creation, social media is a really important thing for a business to have. And we provided that service to people that needed it, and at an affordable rate. $20, you can come in. $10, different nights for $10, you come in and you can see the whole place.
Joe, people could come in. There were days where you could come in for $10, and you were surrounded by millions of dollars in technology. Like,
yeah,
that portion of our business was such a money losing, and of course that was never the part that was going to make us money, but just to be able to go into our studio for $10 and walk around and take pictures and hang out, like,
yeah,
the amount of value you're getting by the technology that you're around. I mean, the power that we used just to run those screens while you walked around might have been close to $10. So
yeah, and the thing is, so you come with an overall business management background, and so like you understand that in a entertainment establishment, people want to be social, right? You come to a place, you're there to see who else is there, you're there to be social, and you get hungry when you're standing around for a long period of time. So not having the restaurant going where people could eat food, that was a huge blow, because people get hungry, then they leave, and then when people leave, there's less people congregating, and when there's less people congregating, that's a less environment. That's, it's less reason to stay in and be there. So the more people, it's just, when we would break our back and do the food out of the ghost kitchen or out of the kitchen, that truck, and that was a very hard situation. It didn't allow us to, we needed it right there on site when we planned to do it from the beginning. And you can't, so that $10 that turns into more with the food, and then the gift shop, and then paying for the show in the back, and then learning about other events and other nights that are more money. So the cheaper nights were just like a way to reel you in. You see all these other things going on different nights, and then you'll come to that too, and that's when the dollar's more and stuff. So it's like, you reel them in when it's slower during the week, but people, when there are the busy nights, people want to eat. They get hungry, and just it's part, like, you don't go to, there's every bowling alley, even a bowling alley has a way for you to eat and have some food. In
hindsight, we should have just been ordering like truckloads of Papa John's pizza, but what are you gonna do?
We wanted to be more health conscious there. Like the whole thing was.
That was a mistake. That's moving. We don't do that anymore, right, Joe?
We're gonna allow all options this time. It'll be vegetarian, vegan, and meat. It'll be all options this time. Yeah.
When I joined the project, it was completely vegan. Completely vegan.
Yeah.
And so I was at least able to get our food to a vegetarian point, so we could sell like mozzarella sticks and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, moving forward, we have to, even if we're health conscious, we have to have like meat stuff,
Sure. No, yeah, we wanna be definitely like more rounded, for more options to everybody to enjoy. Definitely, it's gonna come. It's gonna happen. And so, like, we're just waiting to, get justice from everything that happened to us with this guy, and he can't hide behind it any further. Like, I don't know if you've seen the podcast where I go over all the evidence. Check that one out if you haven't. It really just shows what happened to us in a real big, all the evidence, like before you joined.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that one's really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're ready for the future and still remaining hopeful for it, like we all are. And we're gonna try to win. We're gonna try to get it back going again. It deserves a fighting chance. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, the augmented reality. Didn't you like that we're implementing that? Like, that is so sick. Look at that augmented reality right there.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, we were getting
That was
ready
something
with
for the kids to
IC40,
do.
and then we had like look at the jazz. Like we wanted it to be more than what they're trying to portray us to be, and a lot of really awesome women events too. Like totally, someone shouldn't gaslight and lie about a situation, project their drama onto another business, and I think also at the same time, people that are in higher positions shouldn't look at that and be like, well, let's not allow this guy to get hurt in his case, or let's try to derail this case to protect the landlord. And also, you were trying to, after we left the OptiView there in Longwood, we were trying to get going on this Dulce Vita here. But again, this was a huge nightmare with the guy that owned this. So just a lot of people that own businesses. That's the Dulce Vita where we did a big install.
That was such a disappointment.
Yeah,
we sold them like $250,000 worth of stuff. That was a good sale.
Yeah, and he didn't want, they had their pre-existing situations that predate us that were just a problem, and he was just getting in trouble for all that. So anyway, I think that I understand that there's regulatory situations, and it's there for safety, and it's there permitting process, and we did that from the very beginning, all that. And the thing is that it should never be weaponized. No landlord or local county should weaponize the permitting process and the ability to petition the government to get what you need to have life and liberty and a job that can sustain you and others. They should not stand in the way of that and then gaslight you like it's our fault that we still not in where we need to be, because that's something that competition does. Like, they'll weaponize, and I think that's just a lot of corruption there. I would never move back to the whole state. I don't want to be anywhere in the state. I like other areas of the country, and that's what we're exploring now. But yeah, I just there's a lot of places that are real corrupt, similar to that one too, when it comes to things. But I think Seminole really takes the cake on, like, they might
Seminole County's a mess.
They might, yeah, and it's like, get past that kind of behavior of being prejudiced towards cannabis-friendly establishments or a cannabis-friendly crew. I mean, a lot of bands did this stuff. I mean, Apple, the creators of Apple, Steve Jobs.
Tell you what, Seminole County doesn't have any problems with all the medical dispensaries they're making millions of dollars in taxes off of per year.
Well, I think that the tension with the county really started with the landlord, unfortunately, more than anything. It really was healthy. They did a story on us and everything, and we still have a healthy relationship with the arts part of it. I think what happened was just the landlord became very retaliatory towards the upstairs coming out. He would always be really pissed about it, even cursing sometimes, just so mad about that upstairs being gone and don't believe in the viability of my project and everything like that.
That was illegally done in the first place. Like, that was a whole crazy... I don't know if we can talk about the lawsuit going on, but...
Yeah, you go ahead, go ahead and say whatever you want.
There was an illegally built upstairs in the building, and that was never supposed to be there. Like, that wasn't our problem. We didn't own the building. We didn't do that 25 years ago.
Well, so before it got removed, he told me, I don't believe in your project. I'm so angry that your project has upstairs got to come out, all this. Well,
he shouldn't have signed the lease.
He shouldn't have leased
sign a lease, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think here's what looked at. I think he looked at our bank account, seen where we were. We were in transition.
Yeah,
we're
he
moving.
saw the zeros in the bank account, and he was
he's like, he wants this money, but then he was able to try to project in his mind, okay, here's this is how many months until they become insolvent, but not understanding that, son of a gun, if you're gonna stand, I'll go offsite. I'll do work offsite. Dulce Vita, I'll do stuff around the city. I don't need, if you're gonna stop me here, I'll adapt like that, and I'll go do stuff elsewhere then to make money, But it's like, I think he projected based on what was in the bank. If he can tortiously interfere with me after I move all this stuff in, tortiously interfere, in his mind is mathematics, okay, it's going to be about this long until he becomes broke, and then I can lock him out and all that. And that's the problem. It's premeditated. Premeditated 2 days in doesn't even want me to have a digital billboard. I got to put the freaking static You knew
It makes his property look bad. It would have made his property look so good on 1792 if there was a 6-figure digital billboard out front of his building. But
here's
he just kept shooting himself in the foot.
Well, in his mind, he wasn't, and let me kind of reveal why. In his mind, all these upgrades to add a kitchen, plumbing, more bathrooms don't matter to him. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna put myself on screen. I'll tell you why. Because when he came to my old store, he saw dollar signs, he saw money, he saw all this equipment that's gonna go in his building, and then with all the connections he obviously clearly has in the county and with also with judges and everything else. I mean, we're realizing all this now. Like, he felt that he could probably just get the higher value. It's all my stuff and the balance, re-rent it. That's the kicker here. So it doesn't matter if I was going to put a billboard. Okay, I'm going to put a 6-figure billboard, but this guy's bringing $2 million worth of stuff. I want it. I want to be the one. I want him to do all the work. Let the Spanish guy do all the work, break his back, put it all together, and then I'ma have it because I'm entitled. I'm a silver spoon. Parents gave me everything type of guy. His ex came in there one time, told the whole thing. Guy grew up rich. He didn't have to pay. He got his first building, paid for by his parents or whatever, from what I understand. So like he's just been a landlord. He's not really had to work like us. So when you have like a baby boomer, a trust fund type baby situation, like that could be like the worst. You'll meet more people that are more giving in the ghetto that are poor. That sometimes have a dollar to their name, but be more giving and more have more like dignity in themselves than someone that comes from that, like doesn't never had to do any hard work, basically like what we do, the kind of work that we had to do to transform that building is backbreaking work, and it's not easy. You know that, and when you're helping us leave and move and vacate and stuff like that. And it's like it's harder to set it up, because when you're setting it up, you got to be measuring, and everything takes 3 times as long as setting it up. You explore with this and that. You don't like that angle, so it's actually a lot more difficult to really get it right when you're first doing it. But anyway, it is what it is. It happened, and the thing that keeps me going is the higher power that exists in the universe wants me to take that money that they made by being dishonest to other people, who knows how many others, but definitely to me, in my opinion, the universe wants me to take that money and use it for good and justice, and to rebirth everything and to create something that will last beyond me. Like OptiView was negotiating to get franchised before all this stuff went down. I had investors on the team. Remember Andres Kelly and others, like we had in Ashcroft. There's a lot of people with money that have been really interested in this project for many, many years. Right. Relationships that I built for 10, 15 years, not only the credit that I built for the last 15. I mean, this wasn't overnight. I built this over the course of 15 years. My youth, what's that worth? To have someone try to just completely strong arm me, gaslight and act like it's my fault, and then try to protect his upstairs from coming out with all this premeditated crap from the beginning, and it's all backfiring. I'd take him to federal court. I mean, it's ridiculous, but like we're gonna continue. We're not giving up. We're not gonna. Yeah. Right. It's like we're young. We deserve a shot at it, and someone like that should be passing the buck to the future in a positive way. You're 70 something years old. How much time do you got left? They have no kids to leave it to, they have no family to really leave it to. Everybody's, I think, from what I understand, passed on. So, leave it to the dog while you made everybody suffer. You leave it to, what kind of karma is that? So, I think that over time we'll get there.
It doesn't even really come to it comes down to good business versus bad business. You can do good business and make money all at the same time. It's not about being a socialist business owner. It's just, don't be corrupt, don't do illegal things to try to screw people over and take what they have.
That's what happened. So you understand where I'm coming from. I don't know if I've explained it to you before, like the...
Oh, Joe, you've explained it before.
Oh, okay, I'm making sure that. Well, now that the audience can see, like the amount of money that was the work Like that's like a company would charge 400 grand or more to just install what we did and do the labor.
Oh, easily. The labor was insane.
Yeah, and then the value of the stuff, you know, and then like priceless, one of a kind pieces, and just wow, man. This, if I had a digital billboard, because a lot of people would come in and be like, man, like you, they didn't realize what was inside. Imagine with all our photography skills. I mean, we've got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of professional photography and videography equipment. Obviously, you can see around here in the room here. Like, we can capture things in such a dynamic way that people, when they see it on a billboard, either in slow-mo or just stills, it's amazing. They're going to want to gravitate inside.
At the time we were open, I think we had $150,000 just in camera equipment. So yeah, we were ready to produce anything.
Yeah, and a lot of these things like the podcast setup, the cameras in the back with teleprompters to capture people on stage, and just a ton of opportunity in tech for people that love it. You know, like people love working with tech.
We didn't even have all of our technology deployed. We had so much stuff in the back. We had 4,000 square feet of technology sitting undeployed, unused.
Yeah. Well, we're going to put it together. We're going to put it to use. I appreciate everything that you've done over the years to still remain hopeful, and anything you'd like to say to the dog and me on any other questions? Anything you want everybody to know? Look at the cute puppy.
People can follow me on X at Wesley from Florida, Wesley from FL. Other than that, no, we're just going to keep on moving forward. And like I said, I want to get e-commerce back up and going strong. So we're just going to keep focusing on that website. And,
no, definitely the e-commerce. Yeah, that's going to be a good time to get. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to happen for sure. Well, I appreciate you, Wesley, and all of your dedication. Thank you so much for tuning in, and man, just keep praying that they can get past all those bias. Like in law, when you're trying to get justice, defendants will see what can we use to weaponize against the prejudice this plaintiff. Like, what kind of dirt can we dig up? There's absolutely no dirt that has any merit, because anyone that's gotten to know me in a capacity as a friend or more, that's one private, and it's like no one's business, and it's always consensual, and there's no big deal. You know what I mean?
Joe, you're like Donald Trump. If there was any dirt on you, it would have already come out. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah,
There's
well,
no dirt.
They're just trying to say, because we had to call the ambulance a couple of times for people that are, have drug problems. It's not my fault.
That was once, and it wasn't even inside though. So.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's not fair, and then to project this other nightclub's crap onto us, and just it's ridiculous. That's what they do. That's the name of the game, with people in high positions that are up on the totem pole. They know the truth. I mean, they know what the truth is. Everybody knows. The whole entire police department knows that there was an issue going on there at that particular nightclub for years. I mean, it's been going on for years. And so everybody knows what's going on. They just want to hide behind false things to, try to character assassinate me. Huh?
There's a strip of 1792 about not even a mile from where the venue was. And in those woods, on that strip, there was just woods. And in those woods, homeless people had a camp. And several times a week, this went on for years. Sometimes it'd be once in a month. But there were times where multiple times a week, the fire department was on scene on the side of 1792 because the homeless camp had started a forest fire or started some kind of fire in the woods. And that was all the time. And Seminole County did nothing about it. You know what Seminole County did? Seminole County sent government-funded health care, mobile health care. I saw vans at those woods multiple times where they were giving health care to the people that lived in there and were doing drugs and starting fire. What kind of government in their right mind does that? That should tell you everything you need to know about Seminole County, Florida.
Well, dang. Well, they should be supporting us versus that.
Did you ever see those vans, Joe? The health,
no, I haven't.
Probably didn't have time.
It's a big problem. I mean, it's very expensive in Florida. You also tell me about this hardship that you endured. Temporarily halt payroll right now. What kind of effect has that had on you?
my wife and I were very close to buying a house. We had a down payment ready towards the end of OptiView, and we were ready to buy a house. And when the good times ran out, we were not able to buy a house at that time. So it wasn't a fun time for us, I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
But we are buying a house in a couple months, so I'm pretty excited for that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You're getting back on track. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry that we had to, right now, temporarily pause operations, but we hope to bring things back. Well, thank you, Wesley, so much for coming on the podcast, and you're looking forward to part 3 of the live stream?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Live stream's going to be good. And did you get to meet this dog? I don't remember if you got to meet this dog yet. This is baby.
I don't know if I've met that
this
dog.
This is
it's
baby
a lovely
girl.
Dog,
yeah,
though.
I got this one since I've been gone, since I left Florida. She's real cute, right? It's a Pomeranian Chihuahua. She's so gorgeous. This one's a Pomeranian, and then the other one's a Chihuahua Poodle, the brown one, the one we had put away. She's gonna come out the cage now and play, but she's just so loud and barking. Tonight she was just really wild tonight. Like, she wanted all the attention. I had to put her in the cage. But she'll come out and play now. All right, Wesley, I appreciate you, and we look forward to meeting up, being back again together, the whole team, and working this whole thing out. Talk to you soon. Later.
Talk to you soon, Joe. Bye.
Bye-bye.